Give me... No,
Water?
give me your hand.
Jeez. It's
Okay.
fine.
I wanted you to read my mind. I'm sorry. You didn't do gel because of your thumb?
I mean, I could, theoretically.
No.
I think she wrapped it too tight. You wrapped it too tight. She wrapped it too tight.
I think we know what we're doing. Okay.
And oop.
Okay. So I sliced my left thumb open with a box cutter,
What?
otherwise known as a utility knife, a razor blade, essentially. And our torrid tale starts with my watch. So I have a nice watch that I like. It's Abercrombie & Fitch, brown leather strap, black face. I love it. I used to have 8 watches. I was on my way to being watch guy. And then I thought, this is too much. I had a red watch. I had a blue watch. I had a canvas watch. I had a gun metal watch. And then I was like, I don't need this aggravation in my life. So gave a bunch of them away. I almost once became sock guy too. Like I got pizza socks and alligator socks and hamburger. And I was like, I don't need this. Although watches are much more expensive than cheap socks from Dollar Tree. But I winnowed down my watches to this brown leather strap, black face, A&F watch. And but it hasn't worked for 5 years. The battery stopped and I was like, whatever. I just wear it purely as a fashion statement.
Yeah, you wear it when we're dressing up.
Yeah.
And it looks really nice.
Yeah. And we all have phones with the time on them. So I was like, who cares? I wore it during our entire trip to Endicott, New York, because I was like, whatever. This is purely aesthetics. I'm very shallow. I'm very vapid, as you know, honey, very superficial. But during Endicott, I was like, I really like this watch. I want to get it going again. So back in the day, you used to take it to a jewelry shop, watch repair shop, or as the rappers in the 90s call it, jury. And they swap out the battery for you. It takes a minute, 2 minutes. And then you got to pay them, obviously. But I thought, I want to do this myself. DIY. I'm very manly. Yesterday, I fixed our door stopper.
Oh, you blew me away.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe you just put it back on.
It was super simple. It
It
took
was
about
amazing.
5 seconds. But the testosterone was dripping from head to toe, honey, if you remember correctly. So I bought some batteries from Amazon, some watch batteries. And I had to buy 5 of them because Jeff Bezos won't sell you one because there's very little profit margin there. So I had to buy 5, and I was like, well, I guess I'm going to use these batteries for the next 20 years. Whatever, who cares? But taking off the back of a watch was where I was like, how do I do? And I've seen it done before. I've had watch batteries changed. So I watch YouTube, and they have this tool. It's sort of like a knife, but it's curved like a machete. It's a little machete. But I don't have that. So I was like, well, I'll use what I used was, first I tried with a flat head screwdriver, and I couldn't get under the back. It's sealed shut. And then I switched to a box cutter, and I still couldn't get it. I was like,
Oh my gosh.
And I was just on the carpet where me, you, and Lennox were just hanging out. Lennox was watching One Piece, the new Netflix manga, real time, real action, live action
Yes.
series. My hand slipped trying to get this stupid watch back off, and it went right into my left thumb.
Oh.
I cursed. I said the F word really loud.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Liz Fisher. I said, F, babe. Not like
Yeah.
F you, honey. It was F, comma, babe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I ran to the kitchen sink. You went into crisis mode.
Yes.
So we just started grabbing a bunch of paper towels and applying pressure to it. And we went through many paper towels. Probably 20 paper towels.
Our garbage can looked like a doctor's office after a surgery.
Oh, yeah. It's disgusting. Lennox continued to watch One Piece. He seemed unfazed, a little concerned, but
He was a little concerned, yeah.
this is very important manga happening on the TV. Frankie panicked. So Frankie freaks out over garbage bags. So he was perturbed. About 25-ish minutes, the bleeding stopped. Okay, so went through many paper towels, but the bleeding ceased. And then you went to dress my wound.
I did.
You used that weird bandage that's clear, that's supposed to wrap around a finger, an appendage.
It's a waterproof Band-Aid.
Yeah.
So it's like a clear. It's not. I don't like it.
Yeah. It's difficult to just remove the liner.
I'm trying to get rid of those, so I was like, we're using these on your thumb.
Thanks. High priority.
I double wrapped your thumb.
Yeah.
With 2 of those they're the big bandages.
Yeah.
Did it nice and tight.
Yeah. That's what he said. And so we're just sitting here. One Piece is rolling. You're on the couch staring at me like I'm about to keel over. You had worry in your eyes, fear. And like, I wasn't in pain per se. I was just like, this doesn't feel right. Like it wasn't hurting, but I was like, this is not normal. Like there's something going on in my thumb, obviously. So we have an urgent care, like less than 2 miles away, but they don't take Kaiser. And then, so we call Kaiser, and the closest one that's open is in South Sac. And so I call them up, nurse on the line, whatever, and I go, what's the wait time like? She's like, oh, we can't see that. And I'm like, what? Don't you have computers? Don't you have the internet? That would be so handy. Like, oh, South Sacramento is a 3-hour wait, but if you drive to Roseville, 5 minutes. Oh, okay, thanks.
I think they're gatekeeping that information, and I don't know exactly why, but they don't want to give any information out about the emergency room situation.
Yeah. So there were no appointments, but you could walk in. And so I'm telling the nurse what happened, and she says, okay, well, my computer says you should go to the ER. And I was like, what? Like, well, thanks for your algorithm, lady. What do you really feel and think, nurse call center lady? So we sit around some more because it's not like I got stabbed or something. I didn't lose an arm.
You stabbed yourself, though.
Yeah, I stabbed myself. But in the end, I wanted to be cautious. We chose caution. I mean, I guess it could have healed.
It would have healed on its own. Yeah. It was kind of borderline, like, is this bad enough to go? Was it not? Yeah. I was worried about you in the upcoming days with your job, which is very physical.
Yes.
And just you having to deal with changing the bandages and just being really careful with it.
And I'm going to visit my mom, and I don't need her freaking out when I get off the plane. So we drive down to Kaiser Urgent Care in South Sacramento. It's 17 minutes away. Check in. Lady checks me in. Says it'll be an hour, whatever.
That's not bad at all.
I know. I was like, thankfully it's not 3 or 4, and it's Saturday around 2:30. I was in my head on our way over there. I'm like, there's probably kids who like hurt their knees in soccer, and there's idiots barbecuing while drunk, and maybe fireworks happening or people burning themselves. I'm like, well, what's happening at the hospital on a lovely Saturday afternoon? It was 1/4 we take a seat. We brought books.
Yeah, we came prepared.
We got to read.
I packed my purse with snacks.
Yeah.
Soda.
Yep.
We brought books.
Yes, ma'am.
We were ready to sit and wait.
We were ready. But they were turning them out. The nurse comes out. Fred Flintstone. Fred Flintstone heads back. 2 minutes later, Wilma Flintstone. Blah blah blah. It was like high. Quick turnover. They were working fast. So sat there for 15 minutes, maybe 20, and nurse comes out. Winson. And then she goes back inside. I'm like, okay, that's not me. My name is Vince Nicholas. Comes back out. Winson. No. Vincent. And I was like, wait, I think that's me. So she was saying Vincent, I'm listed technically under Kaiser Records. She was pronouncing Winson.
And for some reason, not saying a last name with it, just saying Winson.
Right.
Winson.
Right. If she said Winson Nicholas, I'd be like, I'm Winson Nicholas.
We would have known immediately.
Winston.
And then she seemed to be irritated with you for not coming up.
Yeah.
And like,
yeah.
Winson?
Well, I don't know who Winson is.
That doesn't sound like Vincent.
Yeah.
I guess a little bit, but no.
So she takes me back, types in a computer, puts the thing on my index finger for my pulse, and then she takes me to another room with a nurse. I don't think she was an actual nurse. She's just a maybe LVN or whatever, but I get into a room with a real nurse. She's sitting there, and she has a giant bag of Reese's Peanut Butter Cups Thins, and I was like, oh, okay. She's not messing around. And then so she needs to take a look at it. And she didn't want to take the bandages off, so I took the bandages off. But while I was taking them off, she said, your wife dressed this really good. This is wrapped really good. And I said, well, thank you, nurse. That's my nurse wife.
Yeah.
Not a professional, no degree, but when the time calls for it, you go into nurse action.
I went to the school of motherhood of 2 little kids.
School of Hard Knocks. And then so she takes a look at it. It's disgusting. And she's like, you want glue or stitches? And I was like, what's the benefits? What's the pros? What's the cons? She's like, glue, it'll be done in 3 or 4 days. Stitches, 10 days. And you got to come back so we can pull them out. And I said, well, give me the glue, girl. Gorilla Glue.
That sparkly glue for the school children.
Sparkly glue, Elmer's glue. I'll sniff some glue. I mean, what do you need me to do? Let's get this going. So she's like, okay, I'm gonna go get the glue. Just wash your wound. So I wash it. Opens it back up. Starts bleeding again.
Oh.
She comes back in. I'm like, hey, it opened up while I was washing it. So it's bleeding again. And she's like, oh. And then she kind of manhandles me like she's a freaking ventriloquist with my thumb. And she's opening it and tossing it this way and turning it that way and manipulating it. And I'm like, and there's blood dripping on the table right beneath my hand. And so she needs to put a little sticky thing to close the wound temporarily while she applies the glue. That thing would not take. And I just kept bleeding. So she's like, all right, no glue. We're going to do stitches. And I'm like, all right, I wish you said that from the beginning, lady, but whatever. So she goes out. She gets the stitches. And as you know, honey, stitches get stitches. So she has to numb my thumb. And she's like, this is going to hurt. I see the syringe. I'm like, all right, let's do this. And the first 3 shots into my thumb did not feel good. Oof. Lots of pain. I was like, but the numb almost immediately.
How many total shots did
5.
you? 5 in your thumb? That seems like a lot.
Yeah.
Excessive, maybe.
I needed it. Well, after 3, I was like, give me 10. I'll take 10, nurse lady. So the first 3 hurt. And then after that, you don't feel anything. So she numbed me up. And then she starts suturing me, stitching me. And she says, you might want to look away. You may get queasy. You may get lightheaded. I was like, no way, dude. I bought the tickets. I'm going to watch the show. So it's like a fishing hook and a fishing line. And she's a seamstress. And I was like, this is cool. A little cringy, but I was like, this is what I'm here for. I got 3 stitches in my left thumb. The only little wrinkles that the end of my wound, my opening, is right next to the cuticle, like right next to my fingernail. So I think that was present a little difficulty for her. But honey, have you ever had stitches in your life? What do stitches mean to you in your life?
I've only had stitches when I gave birth to my children.
So both Lennox and Luna, you both needed stitches?
I think so.
Okay.
I can't remember, but I know for sure with Lennox I did. I think I did with both, just 1 or 2. Like I didn't tear bad.
Why, Lennox? Why? And did you have to go back and they removed them?
No.
Do you remember anything?
No,
they just kind of.
I guess they're different than They just dissolve on their own. You don't have to go back or anything.
Yeah, I thought that's what was gonna happen with this. Like, what's up with your stitch technology, lady, Mrs. Reese's Pieces? We left home at like 2:30. We were we were back by 4, so we were in and out. It was a grand old time. I thought it was gonna be hours and hours and stretching into Saturday night, and I couldn't imagine this happening Saturday night. What kind of injuries are at the hospital on Saturday night, and then Sunday is just closer to work, giving me less time to heal. You're supposed to keep your stitches dry for 48 hours. I came home and washed my hands immediately because I'm an idiot. I'm so used to washing my hands, and I'm like washing my hands. I'm like, wait, I'm not supposed to do
immediately, honey.
I'm a dummy. I'm a dummy. I held my hand in front of our fan for a few minutes, hoping that helped. Lennox and Luna, when I came home, heroes welcome. Oh man, the confetti, the bunting, the parades. Oh wait, no. They stay in their rooms playing Roblox and staring at TikTok. But anyways, but the worst thing that I can think of, because I have one thumb, I have 9 fingers. I think I'm pretty good. Showering was a little bit of a challenge. You put Ziploc. You did like a double bag. You Ziplocked my thumb, and then you put a bigger Ziploc around my hand.
Yep.
That was a little tough to negotiate.
You had trouble picking up the shampoo bottle.
Yeah, with my left hand, and then I had to put the soap in my left hand, which is very slippery and in a Ziploc bag. But I managed. But the worst thing I can think about is it's going to be very difficult to pluck my eyebrows and do self-care. I know. Well,
you're going to be a furry beast.
It's a struggle. Alrighty. Well, are we done, honey? That was an adventure on our Saturday afternoon.
A harrowing tale with a happy ending.
Yeah, I deserve some Michelob Ultra. We're going to watch TMNT with Lennox. And that's that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. A bye.
And a oop.
Hi.
Hey.
Addendum. So, we had stopped the bleeding. Nurse Ratchet restarted the bleeding. Like, what the hell, lady? Like, we had that problem solved. You began it again. You resuscitated the bleeding. What kind of sick forbidden medicine are you practicing here? More importantly, honey, how does this affect our boom?
Negatively.
And even more important than that, how does this affect my lifting? I'm really strong, honey. I lift.
Can you lift without a thumb?
Well, the thumb is there.
It's there.
I don't know how useful it is. Outside of playing video games, how much thumb do you use? I have one thumb. It's not like I'm missing both thumbs.
Well, you can't grip a weight. You can't grip a dumbbell without a thumb.
Yeah.
And you don't want to just lift with your right hand. Then your left will be all weak and tiny.
Oh yeah, like how I skip leg day.
Yes.
My legs are already skinny and feeble. I don't know.
I think you're gonna have to do like squats, lunges. You're gonna have to work your lower body.
No. Not a woman, honey. Okay, well, figure it out. See y'all.